Going on, everybody? Post spring game video. First of all, shout out to my boys JC, Hayden, and Derek. Guys that went with me to the spring game, had a lot of fun. Hope to do it during the season, guys. Gonna be a lot of fun next year. I can tell already. Spring game was awesome. Good turnout, good weather, good play. My team won. Gotcha, JC. He was rooting for the team Twifo, and I was rooting for team Magrasu, Mario Grasu. Mariota looked nice in his whole quarter of play there. I doubt he barely broke a sweat. Um, he had a nice little hookups with Dwayne Stanford, which, to be honest, shouldn't be surprising to anybody. I mean, I know Dwayne's coming off an injury last year, but people forget Dwayne played as a true freshman and played well as a true freshman alongside Braylon Addison, who had his breakout year, last year. Primarily because I think he was had more receptions go his way because of the injury to Dwayne. But now I feel like Dwayne's going to have a year this year like Braylon had last year. That's kind of how I'm seeing it pan out. Is Dwayne, I think, is just as good as Braylon, and now Dwayne's got that opportunity, and I think he's going to take full advantage. Now also I saw a lot of running back play come out of the backfield and moving him into the slot. And that I like because that's where a lot of the receptions are going to have to go, especially with the Anthony Thomas leaving. I feel like we could line up Byron Marshall and Thomas Tyner at the same time. I feel like that would be, and then you put Dwayne Stanford, you got Keenan Lowe, and either Jalen Brown or BJ Kelly, or even Darren Carrington or Devin Allen. I think this team is stacked with a lot of guys that can make plays, and it's just will they make the plays? And that's the big question. I think Dwayne Stanford's going to make plays. I think Devin Allen, from what I saw yesterday, is going to make plays. He's going to blow the cover off the defense. And I don't think there's a lot of corners or safeties, for that matter, in the Pac-12 that are going to keep up with him. The dude's fast. The dude's lightning fast. And he can catch the ball. He's got good hands. Um, Now, I think that also opens up things for our tight ends and running backs. That's why I like using two running backs. Is you you open up space. You just have so much playmaker ability on the field, and not to mention Mariota's running game. Ooh, our offense looked, didn't look really super flashy, but it looked really good too. It looked like it was clicking at times. That is when Mariota had the ball because our second string quarterback situation is completely up in the air. To be honest, we really don't have a backup quarterback. We have like four backup quarterbacks, and none of them have really separated from the pack. And to be honest with you, I couldn't care less about the backup quarterback race because I feel like the better quarterback is coming in June when Morgan Mahaly shows up and starts playing. And he'll probably redshirt, but next year it's going to be his starting job to lose, in my opinion, because I just think he's far and away better than any of the guys we got on the roster now, except for Mariota. Um, that's just me. Now, going onto the defensive side of the ball, the defense played outstanding. The defense all around, the linebackers are probably the weakest unit, but that's just because I think they were overshadowed by how great the secondary was playing and how great the defensive line was playing. And even though Hardrick forced a fumble, I say they're overshadowed. That's how well the defensive line looked. Italia, Armstead, and Buckner will tear up some Pac-12 and, to be honest, some Big Ten offensive line coming up next year. Those guys were destroying plays. They were blowing things apart. A lot of what our quarterbacks had to complete were broken plays, out of the pocket scramble plays, receivers coming back to the ball. They weren't your number ones or even your number twos coming just running their routes and finding open receivers in the zone. It was a lot of just scramble plays, which is great for the defense to be able to force that, and also great practice for the receivers to have to, okay, now I got to come back and I got to adjust and I got to get open and got to find the space. Great on both sides. So I was extremely impressed at the same time on both sides of the ball. Um, Ty- Tyree Robinson, dude's an animal. He's gonna mess somebody's shit up. Well, he's gonna lay a hit that is gonna mess somebody up. watch. And Thomas Steiner, same thing. He messed up Dominic Harrison yesterday like no other. He trucked him and ran over him for another 10 yards after the hit. Thomas Steiner's probably going to be the starting running back. It's, in my opinion, his to lose. The dude looks like an absolute freak. The dude just looks like an absolute freak. That's not to say Byron Marshall looked bad. It's just Thomas Tyner seemed to be running with more of a purpose, and Byron seemed to be just out there running plays. Kene Benoit impressed me. He caught balls out of the backfield. He ran with an authority. Kene Benoit, in my opinion, is going to be a solid back for Oregon. It's just going to be, if everybody, plays to what I saw yesterday, I think this team can do really good things, or can at least improve on what I saw yesterday. I'm not saying yesterday was this grand thing. I mean, it was a spring game, but for a spring game, it was, to me, impressive. And if things can just keep rolling under that, then we're going to be in a good place. We're going to be in a really good place. So that's about it, guys. There's really not much to say. I got on TV a few times and had a great time. Shook a lot of service men and women's hands, which is always a great pleasure for me to do, is to thank those guys. So again, thank you to any guys out there who served, or any women who watch my videos who served. I appreciate that. It's awesome that Oregon does that every year, and the uniforms looked great. So another great day for Oregon. And as always, guys, go Ducks.